Hello everyone, this is Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you for all your likes and your comments on my last video and in previous videos. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Welcome. To anyone who supports this channel in any way that they can, it is greatly appreciated. As usual, a lot has been happening in the world since we last met. Today I will be focusing on the situation in Romania, where the election is going to be redone after multiple campaign finance violations. In other words, Russia was paying a particular candidate's bills, social media bills, and spreading massive amounts of promotion and misinformation for this candidate. But also there is evidence per a CNN report that there is evidence of a Russian cyber attacks onto those Romanian machines. I want to be clear that I went and did the research around the US election, and I looked at what the Biden government's cybersecurity agency said post-election, and they found no incidences of cyber attacks. So just because it happened in Romania doesn't mean it happened in America. But I think it's fair for me to ask, will any evidence of cyber attacks on American voting machines emerge at any time? Whether it's before the inauguration or after, we'll ask that question. Also, going back to Romania, does NATO see this as an act of war? Because I feel that the supposed incoming president-elect has been told in no uncertain terms that NATO is prepared and getting ready for war with Russia. I think he was given a sobering account of exactly what is happening with NATO, the EU, and Russian aggression, and how that relates to Ukraine. When he journeyed to the Notre Dame Cathedral, he wore underneath his black overcoat, when it was removed, a blue suit with a yellow tie as he posed photographs with Ukrainian president and the French president. So I feel the Washington Post reports that when the current NATO secretary, who's an ex-prime minister of an ex-leader of the Netherlands, who was very close to Trump when the former president, supposed incoming president, 45, during his first term, the NATO secretary was very close to him. It was one of the few that were, and he journeyed to Mar-a-Lago just after the election, and Washington Post reports that that trip was when Trump got a wake-up call about Ukraine, and it was part of a lobbying process about the situation with NATO and Europe as it relates to war, to being prepared for war with Russia and Russian acts of aggression against the European and NATO countries. He was given that kind of briefing, according to the Washington Post. So things are hotting up there between Europe, NATO, and Russia. My European viewers tell me that they are actively preparing for war with for a possibility of war with Russia. They're being told where to go to bunkers, and this is very serious in Europe, and I don't underscore that. So we'll take a look at what NATO told the 45. You will have heard that Syria has been liberated. The bloody mass murderer Assad has flown to Russia and is seeking sanctuary in Russia. Where else would he go? The problem with that is that the liberating forces are an affiliate of Al-Qaeda, and so we don't yet know whether ISIS and Al-Qaeda will reform in Syria. We don't know. If I've got time, I'll look at that. I want to know, if the inauguration proceeds, will the courts hold under 45? He has civil suits pending against him for January 6th, and if they go to the allegedly injured person's people's favour, if they found in their favour, 45 could face huge civil costs as a result. They're trying to throw ballots out in Georgia to stop a Democratic Supreme Court candidate from ascending to their Supreme Court. Recounts twice were done, and they still found the Democrat won. And so we'll see whether they're trying to chuck out 60,000 ballots. We'll look at that. Can Macron in France hang on? It's interesting. It certainly doesn't look very very calm at the moment. Very worried look on his face in those pictures of Notre Dame. Anyway, let's get started. Also, I'm going to a writers festival this week for a week, and so I will need to turn comments off on my videos because I just haven't got time to answer the comments or to moderate in any way. So when you see that their comments are off for the next few videos, maybe 2 or 3 videos, depending on how often I can read and whether I can read. The Writers' Conference is on a ship, and so I'm really looking forward to using that as an annual holiday, even though I'll be in conferences a lot of the time. For those that don't know, my book is coming out around my cancer journey and my spiritual evolution is coming out on January the 28th, and so this is good timing for me to go on this trip and speak to publishers and authors and all sorts of people. Anyway, that's why the comments will be turned off. Okay, let's get going. I think the first question that many of my viewers will want asked is, will there be evidence of Russian cyber attacks on voting machines in America? Now, please, to date, there's not been that evidence. And Biden government employs some of the best cybersecurity people in the world, and they haven't found the evidence. That's not to say it won't be there. And so what you'll get from me is level-headed. I'm the level-headed psychic now. That's what I am. And I have to be in this sort of climate so that I don't give you false hope, and that we remain very stoic in the face of what might turn out to be a 45 victory, and the next couple of years are going to get fairly tumultuous. I don't need to tell you that. So I'm the level-headed psychic. We'll look at all the possibilities, but we'll also ask the questions based on the evidence that we're currently seeing. So far no evidence, not to say there won't be. Will there be evidence in the future of Russian cyber attacks on American voting machines or infrastructure? Any voting infrastructure? Will there be evidence emerged of Russian attacks on voting infrastructure in the 2024 election? Will evidence emerge? I'm wondering, I'm seeing twins, like duplicates, something to do with, I wonder, duplicates. Just put that away. So we get the Chariot, and we get, it's a rocky ride. We know it. That's the signifier card. And then we get the King of Cups, wisdom and maturity. It's almost also my card for Biden. Now, before you get carried away with the Chariot, let's just see what's likely to happen. Biden certainly is preparing to leave office. He's pardoned his son. Thumbs up to Joe Biden for doing that. Absolutely the right thing to do. Okay, so we've got a lot of pace here, a lot of quickness, a lot of unexpectedness. We get the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is clarity. It's taking forward clarity and truth and moving forward with that. Okay, so in the past we get the Page of Wands. There is evidence there of anomalies, and I've outlined all the anomalies that I have found through research in the election. That's in the past. So far, there was Russian misinformation, massive Russian misinformation. We found that out before the election. There was also Iranian cyber activities against 45's campaign. And so you get China and Iran and Russia trying to interfere in American elections. Russia obviously for 45, Iran against him, and I think China was for. I don't know. I think China was just generally trying to cause trouble. We have the voter. Let's get back to our question: cyber attacks on voting machines and infrastructure. The voter, my card for the voter is in the sky, crowning this reading. Very important here that the voters' rights are upheld. Now we have pausing and looking at things in another way. That's in the immediate future, pausing and looking at things in another way. We have a lot of anxiety in the present. I don't think it, regardless of whatever the evidence is, because of the massive misinformation campaign by Russia, I think it's unlikely that a good percentage of people, of Democratic Party voters, will never accept that 45 won fairly. I think that's a given. And we get the atmosphere around is thieving. The anxiety at the moment is that the election was stolen, and that's very palpable here in the present. In the hopes and fears, we have the victory, and of course everybody wants evidence to emerge if it is there, so that the election can be what they see. They don't want 45 to take office, and so they have this feeling that the election was stolen. Now, the King of Wands, it sometimes is my card for the courts. And so I'm wondering about that. And then we have restriction, worry, can be paranoia as well. And then we have isolation and dark night of the soul. So, and then the magician, manipulation, manifestation. I don't think it would matter what I said today. I think some are absolutely convinced that Russia meddled with the voting machines, change votes, whatever. I don't think anything I say here will change that. As far as yes, no, I'm getting a yes and also a no and a maybe. What are we manifesting in the future? And that's complete and utter downfall. All right, so let's use some clarifying cards and my clairvoyance here. All right, so let's see. So it's going to be hard to prove this. So far, I'm not getting a pull that there are under the down low investigations of cyber attacks. Remember, that's my question. It's going to be very, very hard to prove. Recounts in North Carolina in the Supreme Court election. They didn't find anomalies there. Let's just take a look. It's not to say that there's not. Let's see. Will it ever emerge? King of Wands. I think somebody's going to take court action on something. Will it ever emerge, please? Can you show me clearly the outcome cards? Duplicate votes? I don't know. The Queen of Cups. That is nurturing oneself. And there's the World card, which came up. Endings and new beginnings. And the Knight of Truth. I think there's some evidence. Here's where the level-headed psychic is going to come out. I think there's some evidence that beyond missing ballots, I think there's some evidence that there were duplicate votes in some way. I think that evidence is going to emerge because I get the truth here. in terms of the new beginnings. But then we have loss and walking away. It's like it's going to be hard to make that stick without Biden and Harris and the Democratic Party supporting this. And so what that does is it leaves you out on a limb. There's evidence, but it's not going anywhere. Now, that's not to say it won't later on, but right now, I have to be honest, the level-headed psychic is telling you, I think there's evidence there that in some way, beyond the missing ballots, beyond the voter roll purges, huge anomalies with the election, but it's going to take time and effort for that to come out. And I'm not seeing that being pushed by Biden and Harris. It's almost like we're left alone to paddle our own canoes. I think in the future, let me just check this. I think in the future some evidence emerges, and I think because I was showing twins, that there is some evidence that, I don't know, whether votes were duplicated or in some way killed off during when there was a check. There could have been that it could have happened there, and this is in relation to voting machines, cyber security. Can you show me what I mean here? Okay, can you show me clearly? Was there cyber attacks on the voting machines? Was there cyber attacks on the voting machines? Cyber attacks. Yes or no? There's dark clouds around the tower, and so something is brewing. Again, I don't want to give you false hope, but I feel there is some evidence out there. But I'm not seeing it being pushed. Cyber attacks on the voting machines, I'm not seeing it being pushed by Biden and Harris. But I think it's there. There is something that will emerge. But in a way, it's not. It's going to be too late. Will this? Okay. Let's go to December the 17th, where the Electoral College votes. It's a key date. It's coming up shortly. So yes, I'm going to say there's something there, but I'm not getting a huge draw yet to anyone pushing it, other than somebody in the future comes out and it surprises us. Perhaps looks more closely at it. Would that be a state? I don't know. But I'm feeling there's definitely something to do with cybersecurity there and the voting machines. Let's see, December the 17th, and I'm giving you the best of my clairvoyance and my cautiousness, because I don't want to give you false hope. And so we have here the 10 of Wands. It's hard going at the moment. It's hard going at the moment for everybody. December the 17th, will the Electoral College certify the votes? Will the Electoral College delegates vote and certify the vote on December the 17th? Will the Electoral College vote and certify? December the 17th, will they certify? Will all states certify the vote and certify the election on the 17th of December? Okay, so we get guardrails, weariness. We get the 3 of Wands, waiting for one ship to come in. We get illusion and delusion. We get the past. It's just such a difficult atmosphere. The Queen of Pentacles is crowning this reading. Security, sustainability. We get the Ace of Pentacles. I think, in the future, I think the Democrats, when they get on the front foot, are going to be pushing this Russian misinformation in light of Romania. But it's like an uphill battle, because there was nothing done about it by the government. I don't think they had. I don't know. Did they fail when the Russian misinformation first was raised with the DOJ? wish fulfillment, and the Sun. Okay, the Sun card. We get the Judgment. There's an inevitability coming here. And then we get the Eight of Swords, worry about Trump. And the Queen of Cups, women. Something coming out too. I'm not seeing that it's going to go absolutely smoothly. There's a great deal of worry here about the incoming, about 45. Are they going to certify? Can you show me? Are they going to certify? Clearly. Show me clearly. Will they certify? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, my God. Okay, so there's something here. I don't know. This is, anything can happen. These are the cards that I asked for clarification. Thieving, stealing, something secretive, and then my card for Trump and Musk, and then we get moving out of troubled waters, and again we get this eight of swords, restriction. I think matters will be raised by some electors. I don't know how this is done, but there's something on December the 17th. Is it enough to change the election? It's just going to be seen as partisanship. We get Biden, we get victory, we get circles of support, we get the crossroads, wish fulfillment, volatility, and so much of the same continues. The Knight of Swords. A matter is going to be raised on December the 17th. Is it enough to change the outcome? I'm not seeing that now. But something is going to be raised. I'm going to come down and say something will be raised on the election perhaps around that state certification. There are matters that we can't see. Will it change the election result? I don't know. I'm not getting a huge draw. And as I've said before, I'll wait for Biden and Harris to act. And unfortunately, I don't see signs they will act. There's something there with the election beyond what we already know. And it is going to emerge. All right. Let's move on to Georgescu in Romania. Does NATO see this? Because I've had that dream of soldiers running through fields, and it's long grass. So I don't think it was the Syrian uprising, those rebels taking back their country. I don't think it was that. I keep going to Europe. Pardon me. Does NATO see the Romanian interference as an act of war? Does NATO see the Romanian? Okay, well, they certainly see it very clearly for what it is. Russia aiding the Georgescu, their candidate. I'll just say their candidate. So does NATO see this as an act of war, please? Can you show me clearly? Manipulation. They certainly see the truth of it. The court does. Does NATO see this as an act of war? An act of war. I'm feeling they do. So we get temperance and moderation, and we get the Lovers card. The Lovers card, temperance and moderation, and the Lovers. We get the Five of Cups, loss. I think it's it's NATO. So we get the Knight of Swords, the truth. We get the Queen of Wands in the sky. We get abuse of power. And we get it emerging, the truth emerging of what they did, of who they helped. We get the Seven of Swords, in the hopes and fears, the thieving, and we get defending oneself. They're prepared to defend, and there's the Tower. Okay, so they do see this as an act of war, and with the Tower there, it's very, very precarious. Something coming to fruition in time, and we get stepping forward boldly and bravely, and then we eventually get the downfall. I hope that's the downfall of Putin. Page of Wands and Justice. Okay, so there's my card for Putin. Again, it puts Russia on the outer, and of course Russia's in financial trouble, huge financial trouble now. I think there's going to be, the EU is investigating it, there's going to be further action from the EU. Does NATO see it as an act of war? They see it as a further act of war from Russia. And so let's see, is NATO going to actually take steps? What happens? Putin goes first. He does something that will draw NATO into war. Now, things can change. Fate is not written in destiny. But at this time, the world is very close to war in Europe. Okay, what was Trump? What did the NATO head tell Trump? What did the NATO head tell Trump? Don't look the other way. I think is they've told him that he's not in charge of Europe's defence. They've said that they've outlined the situation, and if he looks the other way, it's almost like they're going to go it alone. That Article 5 has Article 5 already been triggered? The cutting of the cables was enough to trigger a NATO response. Okay, so I think they put it to him. They said either you're with us or you're not, and he was given no other choice but to support what they're doing. Don't look the other way. Show me what they told him in a few cards. 5 of Cups, loss, death, mobilising. They have intel around lovers. I'm hiding that because there's nakedness on the card. The Lovers card and Justice. Okay. All right, so it was put to him that they will go to war, that they have a higher authority. They have a responsibility to defend themselves. Something has emerged about what Putin is planning to do. The 10 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. Something was let out of the bag, and they feel that almost taking him on is inevitable. So they basically said this is how it is. They read him the rule book. All right. Let's go to, I want to see, will the courts hold against 45 with whatever is happening in the future in the US? Whether that's evidence emerging at a later date around the election. Will the courts hold? Will the courts hold? Will the courts hold around the election? Will the courts hold? Someone has got a cup and they're pouring the water out of the cup. So that tells me they'll rule impartially. Will the courts hold in the US against 45? Will the courts hold in the US against 45? 7 of Pentacles. If one plan doesn't work, another is chosen, and then we get him, my card for 45. 4 of Pentacles, holding back, insecurity. We get the Page of Swords in the past. That's the spy in the camp. We get the 5 of Cups, loss, grieving, death. 3 cups spilt and 2 remaining. It's the Minor Arcana death card. Minor Arcana death card. The Magician is manifestation. The Voter, because this is where we're going with this. National security, that's what's there. New starts in the hopes and fears. The Fool card, a new cycle. We get the Page of Pentacles. An abuse of power. And we get the King of Wands, the strength of the courts. And we get the Democrats here. So they will rule, my card for the Democrats. And we get the Ten of Swords, complete and utter downfall. And the Death card, what the hell is going on here? Crossroads. The past. Two of Cups, deals, contracts. And the Three of Cups, support. Justice, crossroads, new plan, retreat, ill health, hard going. Very, very, very heavy energies in the US at the moment. Somebody is having a downfall. Looks like the courts will rule impartially, but there are layers to this. It's not clear enough yet. It's coming into focus for me. The courts will rule against him. He's not going to have his way. Now I want to go back to March. I want to go back to March, to my reading about his life in danger in March 2025. March, April is the draw I'm getting. And because the Death card is coming up there all the time, will 45 be assassinated? Show me clearly. Will 45 be assassinated? There is a man that is in the background right now. He's showing himself very clearly. He's examining something. He has spectacles on his face, glasses. He's looking down. They're like that, and he's looking down at them. Why am I thinking about Chuck Schumer? Because he wears spectacles. That's not who I'm seeing. But he came to my mind then. He may receive a death threat himself. Will 45 be assassinated in 2025? Will 45 be assassinated in 2025? Will 45 be assassinated in 2025? The past, what I got there was, if you assume that he and Putin are on the same track, yet they're not. They're not on the same track, and so Putin has warned him time again about this. A spy in the camp, somebody from his past, from 45's past. We get wish fulfillment as the foundation of the reading. We get the Eight of Swords, worry, restriction is in the past, and we get divine justice in the sky. Four of Pentacles, holding back, information being held back. We get manipulation in the present, can be trying to juggle things. The Queen of Swords is Harris. Could come from a disgruntled Harris voter that feels that the election was stolen. The Nine of Pentacles in the hopes and fears, somebody being paid as well. Or it could come from Putin himself, the Moon card. Nothing is certain for this supposed incoming president. There's powerful energies here, and we get hope, the Star card, and then a cycle, the burden of carrying a very, very heavy cycle. We get the King of Swords, planning and strategizing. The Crossroads, three people perhaps being involved, huge downfalls for whom, and the Death card, minor arcana Death card. I'm going to say that it's possible, I'll draw a clarifier, it's possible that somebody is planning an assassination right now of him. And in a way, this will be... the Justice card is here. Show me the Chariot, the volatility of everything. Show me, please. This Moon card, the Ten of Pentacles. Will he be assassinated? Can you show me clearly? Nobody can have certainty on anything, but I'm seeing the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is the wounded warrior, the warrior who dies in battle. So can you show me, please? Am I getting this right? Will he be assassinated? Ooh, I'm seeing his body. Moving out of troubled waters. And the Eight of Pentacles, there's planning right now. The World card, the end of him. And the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Swords. Again, the energies are very, very volatile. Also, there's a prosecution here for him. There's some prosecution in the future. So I'm going to say the level-headed psychic sees it this way. He is by no means safe. This man could be assassinated. All the cards indicate that there will be another attempt on his life, and it could very well be successful. They also indicate that there's huge prosecutions coming up for him as well. Don't ask me how that's going to work. I don't know. The energies are extremely difficult in the US at this time. There is evidence of something to do with the voting infrastructure. That is likely to come out. Whether it will be before or after his inauguration, I don't know. The only people that have carriage of that is Biden and Harris. So my last question, and then I'm going to sign off. And I don't think that if this evidence doesn't emerge before the inauguration, I don't think people will ever see him as a legitimate president, and nothing will change that. So, but there is a reality to be faced if he gets away with this. All right. It has to be too big to rig next time if he gets away with it. Now let's see if Biden and Harris. Biden seems to be doing everything in his power to be leaving office, pardoning his son. Harris has again urged people to accept the results of the election. Biden's government has said its cybersecurity agency said no evidence as of today yet. So what are they going to do? Biden and Harris, before, are you going to, or is it going to come from the states? I feel that something will be raised by the states, okay. Are they going to ultimately question or do anything in relation to the 24 election? Will Biden and Harris stop, raise, they're in government, they have the power to do something. Will they do anything to change the course of events as they stand in terms of Trump's inauguration? Transition is being going ahead. Biden's had him in the White House. Will they stop? Will this evidence emerge before his inauguration? Timing's hard, but I'll ask the question. And if it does, if evidence emerges before the inauguration, will Biden and Harris stop his inauguration? The Knight of Pentacles, sustainability, stability. The Nine of Pentacles, having everything one needs. And we get circles of support. We get the Page of Cups, that's in the past. We get the Seven of Pentacles. And the Emperor card, the President, the Voter in the here and now, the Sun card, full illumination, broken heart, betrayal as in the hopes and fears. And we get deals and contracts, sacred contracts, but we also get retreat. We get wish fulfillment. And we get the secrets emerging, and justice is there. Something moving very quickly. So they're not yes cards. So let's do, well, some are yes, some are no. Let's look at this. There's secrets to be that are going to emerge. It's this. Are they going to do anything? Are they going to do anything? Show me as this clearly. There's the cup. So again, knowing the situation as I do, highly partisanship, a lot of partisanship, a tug-o-war. I think it would go to the court. I don't think they would wholesalely say, no, that's it. It would go to the Supreme Court. It would go to the courts. So the only way that I see this, when I combine my intuition with my level-headedness, in other words, I'm not going to yank your chain for the sake of it, for clicks or views or anything like that. The only way there's a pathway through, is if the states raise some evidence and it's taken through the courts. I don't see Biden and Harris acting. I see it more likely to go through the court system and be originated at the state level. So, here's my disclaimer. Am I right? Am I wrong? I can be often enough. I'm not right all the time, but often I'm right often enough. But at this time, I'm well aware of the situation, not only in the US, but in the world. And I'm giving you my best clairvoyance and tarot skills. And I'm going to say there is evidence out there of something more than what we've seen right now. It may be brought forward by a state and go through the court system. I don't see Biden and Harris at this time, trying to pull the election back, but I feel it will unfold as it's meant to unfold. Now again, I could be right, I could be wrong, but that's what I see. Reminder, comments are off while I'm away. I'll still be reading, but at least I won't have to moderate or bat away the trolls because the comments will be off. I'll put them back on when I'm back in my hometown, back from my conference. All right, bye for now, everyone. Have a peaceful time. As I see the energies, I feel the energies, and I'm sorry for you. But look after yourself as best you can. Bye for now.